optimal health, financial freedom, finding your life purpose. It's called The Simple Life. I'm just doing it my way.
Welcome to The Simple Life with Gary Collins, your how-to guide for getting your shit together.
This is life. You gotta work on all these till the day you die. The only thing missing is you getting off your butt and doing it.
Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of The Simple Life with Gary Collins. That is me, your host. Gracious, sometimes not so gracious. Just depends. Just depends how I feel that day. Get a little cranky. It's the way it goes. But make sure, check out thesimplelifenow.com. I am the creator. I am the owner. I run that thing. And check out my supplement line. We've been getting a ton of health questions over the last couple of weeks. People reaching out for consulting for health. So I have this supplement line that came from me working with clients over a decade. So this came about for people ruining their health by going and buying crappy products in that store, 5-pound bag of protein from friggin' China or wherever, all kinds of crap. So I dissect their health and we figure out they're taking these crappy supplements. That's where my supplement line came from, is people were derailing all of our hard work with really crappy supplements. So mine are really good. And I created the men's and women's health package. And the reason I did those is that is the core supplements that I was taking all the time, every day. That's where those came from. So you can buy them. You don't have to guesswork. Those are basically the package I recommend for everyone. Easy peasy, made it simple for you. Tried and tested by me for a very, very decades, long time. So if you have questions of you're not sure what to get the men's or women's health package. I separated them, one for men, one for women. They're pretty much the same, except for women has the women's multi, the men's has the men's multi. There is a difference. So even though I have women who buy the men's because it doesn't have iron in it. So there you go with that. So let's get to this Ask Gary Anything. And what I'm going to do, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to explain a few things to you on the ad side, because before we jump into the questions, because I've been asked over since I've talked about putting ads in. People are, oh no, oh Lord, don't do it like such and such does, where it's 15 minutes of ads and it's this and that. Here's the problem, people. As I've explained, podcasts, 99.9999999% of them never make a dime. And you go, well, why would someone do that? Well, people do it because they're making them to try and drive revenue, not understanding that it's really hard to do. They take an easy peasy course that tells them they're going to make millions of dollars in 3.2 seconds doing a podcast and never explain how hard it is to do. Podcasts are very time consuming. They're resource intensive. Most of us who do this on an upper scale, as far as we want to make it a high quality podcast, we have a producer who has to help us with the audio, uploading, and doing all this, because there's a million tasks in podcasts. There's a lot of steps to a single episode that no one ever knows about. So that's a little how the sausage is made. So with that, most people make their money through advertisements. That's how they do it. Or their goal is to get to a network. Well, a podcast network, well, guess how they make their money off you? They put ads in your podcast. It's a deal. That's how it works. Some big ones will get paid, but those are unicorns. Very few podcasts get offered a deal and then a cut of the advertising. Almost all of them make their money off a cut of the advertising that the network signs them up for, and they do. See, there you go. So with me, it's going to be a little different. So I'm not on a network right now, not to say that I never will be. I'm open to things as they come about, but I have to pay bills. I spend thousands of dollars a month to keep this business running. It is not cheap. The way I do it is very expensive. It is the most expensive way to do it, but I do it that way so I can control everything. So it's not a bunch of crap. So my advertisements are products that I use. I use them first, then go find sponsor or advertiser. That's how I do it. So I'm providing you good products that I believe in already. They've been tested by me. I use them. And I mean, I didn't just buy them to do it a spot. I own them. I have owned them. There will be some, I'm sure, that I'll buy to test out, or people send me stuff all the time here and there, and I'll test it. And if it's good, there'll be an advertiser. That's how it's going to work. But you just need to understand this shit is not cheap. Like I said, it is expensive. So I have ramped things up this year. I have put a lot of effort into the podcast, and people go, well, you own a business. You get to use your own business as a sponsor. You probably make more money off that. Lesson for all you would-be entrepreneurs or podcasters. Podcast listeners and customers are not the same. I've talked about this. They are not the same people in most cases. People who listen to the podcast are not necessarily customers. Customers are not necessarily people who listen to the podcast. So, yes, I can run my own ad on here. I hope to convert people to get them to my great Simple Life products on the Simple Life Now. That is a goal, obviously, to expose them to my products. But here's the deal. Like I just said, the crossover hasn't been to what I need it to be to cover costs. So my expenses of the podcast have greatly increased. They've tripled with this new format and what I'm doing this year. All the money and equipment, all that, different web hosts, all of it. I had to change everything, add more. That I'm not covering those costs through the sales in the business. See, that's what I mean. It doesn't equate. So I have had to do advertising. I'm going to have to do it. Yes, you're going to get pop-ups on the website. Yes, you're going to get advertisements in the podcast. Yes. I'm sorry. I hate to break it to you. If that pisses you off that I provide all this great information to you for free, go get your free shit somewhere else. I don't know any other way to put it. This podcast is free. To go to my website is free. It's my right to advertise on it to cover costs. I hope you people understand it is a business. I can't run this at a deficit continually for the rest of my life. I have to pay for this. This has to be paid for. The only way to get it paid for is advertisements. That's the only way. Either that or donations. All right. And a bunch of people told me to put the donation tab in, which I did. It's in the show notes. It's on the website, thesimplelifenow.com. And I'll be honest, it was rather disappointing. I'll be honest. I'm calling some people out. If you want the show to be free, you like the show, you got to support the show. All right. I can't make this any easier. I know that's a little bit of a rant, kind of, but not really. You know, I just want to explain to people how this all works, how I have to keep this thing going. It's not easy, you know, and so by giving you these sponsors, I really would appreciate it if you would check them out. Like I said, I use all the products. I don't make a killing off these. I'm just trying to cover the cost of the show. That's all I'm trying to do here. Cover my cost on the show. All right. Enough explaining that stuff. For God's sakes. Holy cow. Why can't we trade pelts and go hunting? I agree, by the way. Let's get to our questions here. I've been getting a lot. Boy, it's great. I've been getting some really good ones, interesting ones. I like that they're all very different. And I'm getting old. So be patient with me as I move stuff around here. I'm having a hard time reading these in my older age. Like I said, I need to get some reading or computer glasses, and I need to do that. The new prescription makes it hard, so I have to make it really big. But question 1 from Susan F. Have you and your partners ever thought about creating a news network based on integrity and truth? That is a good question. I've been asked if I would create a news network many times. So this is a good time to do this. This is a call out. I am looking for writers. I can't pay you. Sucks. Yes, again. But I will give you exposure. So I'm looking for articles related to anything in the podcast, The Simple Life, that I will put on the blog. You will get full credit, your name. If you have a website where you sell your wares, I have to check it out first. I just can't let you willy-nilly put links in there. I can't do that. But if you have a website that you're trying to get traction to, I will allow you to put them in there if they pass the Gary test. So I'm looking for articles. They don't have to be super long, but if you're looking to cut your teeth or you want to share some of the things you're doing and you just don't have a platform, you don't have a website or anything, well, hey, send them to me. I can't put a whole lot of effort into editing them because that costs money. Make sure that you edit them the best you can, and I'll clean them up the best I can. So we will not promise type A grade editing and work. The message is the most important part, but I will make sure they're not typo filled or anything. And if you send me a bunch with a bunch of typos, well, guess what? We're not going to be using them. And also, I am looking for either a journalist or want to be journalist. And you can go out and again, I'll give you a spot in the blog. We might even create a news page. Who knows? And for that way, if you're looking to get into the maybe independent journalist field, but you need some exposure, you need to get some articles up. Hey man, here's the way. You'll get free exposure. And if it turns into something down the road where we have the Simple Life News Network in truth and integrity, hey, I'm game for that too.